Cher Bertrand, hello. I see we have VIPs in the hall. More important are not products, but journalists. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be with you today here. And I just arrived on the plane, and I came as fast as I could to start this conference. My name is Nicolas Leroy-Floriot, and I'm the director of CHEOPS Technology. I've been for a long time, and it's always a pleasure, and I have a lot of passion for this company that is taking a lot from me for many reasons. I'll say a few words for CHEOPS, and then Frédéric Barroger, and with him we have quite a history together because it was one of the directors of Information Sisters of the North Department, and so it was he joined us in the first meeting of 2022, and it's a great pleasure. And he also thinks that Bordeaux has a nice weather, much better than Lille, but I think that in terms of party making, we're much better here. So a few words about CHEOPS Technology, and then we'll say a few more things. That's not really the core of our topic. Oh, you're going too fast. We're talking first of all about Made in France. So this is the ad that was brought by, not in the newspaper, but we had an exclusivity on this ad. And so this ad came in the monthly journal of Solutions Numériques. So Made in France, I don't know what you think about it. There's a cocktail that you're all invited, all of you, to be with us. So I think we will eat better than in some of the stands where there's just some peanuts and chips. So with this ad, we're trying to symbolize what is made in France. You can see there are @ signs on the sweaters. There is an email logo on the ball, and there's a pack, and that shows how confidential the data is, and mail and protection overall. So Made in France, we will discover what it is in detail because we announced it in January, and I launched some interviews with some journalists, and I didn't speak with you, Bertrand, but perhaps we will do it later because he also has a house near me, so we see each other once in a while. So we launched. We made an announcement in January, and in April we're having really the official launch. And we won't be able to do it beyond this because there's a lot of expectations on the market, and it's really an important element of my career. And I've been doing this for more than 30 years. It's the first time that we launch an offer, and that we have calls coming in for people who are contacting us through LinkedIn. So I just wanted for you to be aware of this. There's one, I will tell you about it without saying any names. It's a huge French company that specializes in research, scientific research, and it called me and said, I don't know you, but I saw your ad and we would like to see you urgently. INCYBER, the National Security Agency, came to see us in Bordeaux and to discover the offer and to be able to treat it internally. And it's like this every week with people who contact us on the phone or on the main line or through LinkedIn or through our agencies. So in a few words, CHEOPS, we are 600, 650 with Switzerland because we have an extension in Switzerland, and we have a lot of competition. I am an anti-Paris person, but I cannot live in Paris, and I will never have the main seat, the main office in Paris. It's in Bordeaux, but we're trying to have a lot of agencies to be close to our clients. We have 5 data centers in France, 3 in the Paris area and 2 in the Bordeaux area. And so we have a few offices here and there, and 2 near Equidix in Paris. In total, we really are aiming at operations and installation of infrastructure. So we have a lot of 480 technicians and engineers. For Switzerland, we have 3 operated data centers that we've bought a company in 2020 that was a very healthy company. At the time it wasn't, but now in 2.5 years we're due 10 million euros in revenue. And we have 50 collaborators, and we have 3 data centers, 2 in Geneva and 1 in Lausanne. We have duplicated, and they were already very active on the cloud. It's a diamond offer, and we have developed our iCode offer in Switzerland for the Swiss market. And in CHEOPS spirit, sovereignty is already part of it, is at the core. So we've been talking about sovereignty since 2010, since we launched the iCode offer. And we're really sovereign because we really try to localize our data centers in France and now in Switzerland for the Swiss market and not for the French market. So for the Swiss friends, they're not hosted in France, they're really hosted in Switzerland. So in CHEOPS, I never wanted to do nearshore or offshore for our data centers. So France for France and Switzerland for Switzerland. So let's continue. In total, we will close the 30th of March at about 160 million of a revenue, and with a good net result. We have a healthy financial situation. We'll have more than 10% organic growth. And as you know, I had sold the company and I had done something really stupid in 2021, 14th of December at 12 in the morning. And we have 200 million euros, and I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do some ships and animals where I'm really interested with the SPA and NPO. And what I started happening is I started really becoming depressed as a head of company. And I'm not the kind of person who's really very depressed. But from March 2022, I was not well at all. And I managed, obviously there's a shareholder that asked 40 million euros, but I was able to cancel the sale. So we had put, don't ask me for money because I didn't have the 200 million euros. And I had to take a credit from the Americans to be able to come out of this. So we're still controlling the company with a holding shares of 81%, and we have 19% that are in public and institutions that hold it. This is perhaps the most important slide before we go to Made in France. We have 4 divisions, and I'm quite happy and proud of this business model. Whatever the situation, whether the situation is favorable for the sector, because we really ate white bread in these last few years. So the IT sector really did well, and we have to be honest, things are going well, and it's starting to become complicated, but the market is becoming more complicated. So perhaps this will slow down some of the excitement around the salaries and wages for some of the profiles. And this is obviously one of the topics, and one of the big topics is cybersecurity, as you're aware, for this salon. So perhaps with the market, I can see some people are smiling. Perhaps the market will push so that this kind of excitement will slow down a bit. So we have the infrastructure division, and for the journalists here, I wanted to give you a scoop that except for the direction committee that's represented by Vincent Decour, besides them, no one else knows about this, because on Thursday and Friday we had the direction committee, and this division will completely disappear. So the collaborators from this division will go into the infrastructure division, because the infrastructure, it's really a set of bricks, the servers, the data, the saving data, but really it's network and security. So you will all agree, I'm sure, this is really one of the main bricks of the infrastructure. So those collaborators who are here will go into the infrastructure division, except for the security experts. And I'm happy to announce something that will be official 1st of May. I don't know if there are any other journalists in the hall besides Bertrand and Jean Kabinski of Solutions Numériques, and I'm glad they're here. We will create here, instead of the division Réseau et Sécurité, Network and Security, one called CHEOPS Cyber Defense. Not Lemon Cyber Defense, CHEOPS Cyber Defense. This identity will have its own visual identity, its own logo, its own baseline. It will have its own marketing. And we're mixing France and Swiss together. Our friends in Switzerland are really strong in terms of security. So today, the security offer of CHEOPS will be a global one. And we will use the SOC, the Security Operations Center, that's available on Elastic. That's really a great job. And I must say our Swiss friends did a better job than us. So the SOC of CHEOPS will be replaced by the DFI SOC. And Jérémy Voisin, who was the owner of the Swiss security, who will take ownership of this entity. So we're becoming really cross-border, and at the moment of the cloud, no matter where you are, no matter where the collaborators and the knowledge is, we're able to use our knowledge for our clients, and we will use the strength of Switzerland. So I won't talk about cloud and managed services that has been working for 12 years, but this is the division that will operate the first offer of this software by CHEOPS, which is made in France. And this will be the first offer because later we will have with a program called Horizon 2030. Well, some of you thought I was going to go, I would take my pension. You're wrong. I will go until 2030 at least. We will deploy other offers as well. And as you will follow the news, we'll have a lot in store for you with some growth opportunities abroad. So we'll skip the history, and you know that we are certified at the highest level. We can manage any kind of medical personal data in our data centers independent of the application, because we have a big activity in the medical world with the clinics and the hospitals that are working with us. And we have our infrastructures which are certified, and they are really very careful about this made in France, because for them, confidentiality of medical data is really, really important. As you can imagine, for us, we also deal with administration, and we'll talk with our friend Baroger and with some of the announcements that have been made. But with the establishments that are managing personal medical data are really careful. And just a few notes on the law and regulations. Yes, just a little reminder to remind you that Made in France also relies on what's happening in Europe with the European legislation, with all the legal evolutions in terms of legislation and the development of GPRD. So with the European Parliament voted on the 10th of November last year, Network and Information Security 2, NIS 2, which will help evolve some of the standards, security standards that are within its perimeters, and to increase the level of security, IT security obviously, and of the people compared to what we have to the OSEs and OIVs. And this will go to the EEs, essential entities, and the important entities, the IEs. And this means that I can announce it because it's already announced. All the regions and all the departments will go into essential entity. So all the extraterritoriality of data will be evaluated and will have to be proved as non-accessible. And within this context, with a small important point, the CNIL and the ANSSI have auditors that in 18 months will do an audit, and this went through the European Parliament to the French legislation, with huge fines on the revenue or for public entities on direct fines that can go up to 10 million for the essential activities and 7 millions for the important entities. So this to say, just yes, Made in France is going in this direction to also protect our public entities, our public corporations and private corporations, to make sure that their data are saved on French territory with no external actor that can access it. What is Made in France? It could have been just one messaging system, but the need for confidentiality, and perhaps I think you agree with us, cannot be just about messaging systems. I know, for instance, that for us in CHEOPS, there are other people from Microsoft here that can name themselves? No? Even if they were here, I would have said the same thing, because I have to say it. I refused, about 4 or 5 years ago, I refused to migrate CHEOPS on Office 365 because we are partners with Microsoft in the cloud hybridation. So we work on this hybrid mutualized cloud, but sometimes there are industrial logics that push us to put some of the non-critical environments, some that are not moving, some that we have to turn off, turn on, some that need a few hours of huge amount of power. So once in a while we put it on Azure for our clients, but we continue with our servers to supervise the environments that are on our systems. So with Microsoft, we're obviously partners. Of course, we are integrating their technologies because we cannot do without Windows Server for our work. But we are co-competitors because Azure is a friend, but it's competition also. And I cannot accept that Microsoft will exchange some of the information that is regarding you, that is confidential in its nature, because that's how I was born. There is a secret in our business, and I cannot accept that we can just exchange information about our clients internally, and that your data and your business can be taken over by someone else in a more or less voluntary way, because some of these American companies are so huge that they can analyze the mail and that they can recuperate the information. But in this case, they can do many things and they're autonomous. But obviously they can resell some commercial files to those who would like to buy them. So if you talk with a friend on an American messaging system and you want to announce something, well, by chance, a few days later, you will receive ads about that. I encourage you to read an article that came out, perhaps it was Solutions Numériques or Informaticien, that explained that CIA is constantly taking and is requesting to get some information from American cloud operators. And sometimes these operators say, that's enough. And what we've been saying for a few years is not science fiction, it's really there. But as you know, in the Cloud Act, it is possible for an American organization to get information from the competition. How is this? The Cloud Act says that the cloud operator that has data centers in France or elsewhere has to, if the government requires it, be able to give that information of this targeted society business. So it has to give this. It can withhold this information unless if there's a risk for the territory. So you should know that if you're a French company, if you're a leader on this market, and you work with a U.S. company, you become a target. You become a risk for that company. So any client, your recipes, your house recipes, your secrets of production, your patents are taken over by the Americans. For those who went through Alibaba, it's even worse. Perhaps we don't even know it. Today, the article says that CIA today regularly takes data from cloud operators. When I know this, I say that if we have contaminated blood, and perhaps in a few months we'll have industrial espionage that will be even worse than what we had in the past with contaminated blood. So what I think is confidentiality and sovereignty of data is not just a fashion. We have to really worry about it. It's really compulsory. It's a risk for the companies. There's a risk to be subject to industrial espionage, which is really easy. I will never put the message system of CHEOPS with an external cloud. We've never done it, and we have exchange on premises, and tomorrow we'll do it made in France. And so made in France is a messaging system. It's a chat. It's a video conference that is only recorded only if you decide to launch the recorded, and it's not automatically recorded, and then it can be used so that you can use what is done with artificial intelligence. So for GDPR, we respect it, and so we respect the anonymity of the one who spoke. But all the video conferences that are done with the foreign cloud operators, everything is recorded, everything is analyzed. So don't say, I haven't recorded this video conference, therefore I can say whatever I want. No, that's a mistake. Everything you say, it's recorded. If CIA comes and says, I want the last video conferences made by this company, they can get them, and they can listen to whatever is said. For us, there's a complete guarantee. Everything is confidential. It will only be recorded if you decide to record it. They will not be studied. They will not be dissected. They will not be recorded if you have not clicked on that recording button. And even if you have decided to record, we will never go and listen to what you've said. Finally, after messaging systems, after chat and video, we have also the drive for the files. When I see some companies, and in CHEOPS, I shouted not long ago, people that were exchanging some of the confidential information with PowerPoint files with names of clients and projects, and they exchange them on an American drive. I won't say a name. I don't even remember which one it was, but it's an American drive. And I was saying, no, we can't do this. And we even had an internal drive. The only one that had to be used is that one. No, but it was easier. No, it's not easier if just you didn't know the CHEOPS drive. Tomorrow there will be no choice. It will be part of the Made in France. I give the word back to you, the floor back to you. Yes, so mails. Mails have all the functionalities that you use every day. It will obviously be a webmail and or an Outlook environment or Thunderbird environment for those who want it, or if we want to create your own environment the way you want it. I would like to interrupt you, Frédéric, because this is really important. In my instructions, in my specifications, my wish was not to revolutionize the experience of the user. I don't believe in having a new mail system if the users that we are, and me first, I'm used to using Outlook, and I don't want to ask myself questions again. How do you send a mail? How do you create, how can you recall it? I don't want to do that. So Made in France is, you can use the Outlook's interface. You'll say Outlook is a US product. Yes, that's right, but that's on your machine. And anyway, Windows is an American operating system, but it's on your machine. So it's another topic, but it's a local tool that is just a graphical interface, a machine interface. But Made in France can be interfaced with Outlook, so there's no big revolution in this. And we wanted to say that once we use Made in France, the whole engine of the email and the Visio engine will change, but it will be seamless for the user. And we were able to integrate the video conferencing within Outlook, within the agenda of Outlook. So there's a company there on Outlook, and when you want to send a video conference, you have to open a second interface. No, everything is in one. You can find, obviously, in the mails also all the contacts and calendar elements of sharing inbox and all the functionalities that you have already that you're using every day without having any kind of revolution or changing the interface that you have. The video conference is a tool that is well known, that is well used in the public sphere, and it will allow us to use it for conferences, seminary, one-to-one recording, sharing of files, and so on. So nothing is really revolutionary. What is important is that it's integrated in the mail software of every day. The chat, this is a chat open source tool. We didn't talk about it, but all our functionalities and apps are open source and integrated within the messaging system and on our data centers. The drive, you can encrypt some of the data or folders in a native way or individually to allow access only to those who need to have access. We've already had some feedback from some of the public corporations that say they need to have these tools to share official files from various elements, whether it's legal or financial. We have a collaborative suite. Again, this is an open source tool, which is an option, and I'll talk about this later, allows to edit in a collaboration mode all the documents that you may have, the Excel, the spreadsheet, the classic presentation tool, the modes where you can read all the forms, and whether you have Office or not on your machine. Should I continue, Nicolas? So it's really a very secure offer. No, you can continue. I'm happy for you to continue. I think that I've already said a few things about this. Yes, one of the principles of Made in France is to include the security of the mail system already. And this allows to be able to read and analyze the inputs and outputs. So we have an option to quarantine something if there's a problem. We have control of reputation of identities. You have an approval over the peripherals connected, and we have a WAF and CM that are integrated in this solution. So you won't have to worry about all the tools that you'll have with all the different suppliers to verify how if they can be cross-used here or not. What can we say about email filtering rules and antivirus? I'll let you speak about this, Nicolas. So, let's be really honest. This is the first conference. We'll have a second one in Lyon in the month of April, and then in Bordeaux in September. We had a huge debate in CHEOPS technology, and I'm really clear about this. Is sovereignty, does it stop at this offer for mail and chat and video conferencing, or should it go beyond for antivirus and filtering of emails? We are partners of Fortinet, which is an important partner for our offers, for our cloud offers. It's a really important partner where we've invested a lot of money every year because, as you can imagine, for our data centers, our security is really a big topic. So Frédéric and the technical teams told me, you know, we really have to look at the DCQ. Now we talk about it, we call it VIDE. So we've been speaking about this VIDE for a long time. And the question is, do we include the security brick in the offer? So is it native and in the price, or should it be an option? And I told them, hey guys, we don't want to reinvent hot water. Our friends and competitions, who are they? Microsoft, their friend in competition, and Google, they're our competition. They're not friends, but that's their competition. They are the ones who dictate the market. They are the ones who dictate the price, first of all. So, ladies and gentlemen, if they add 20%, well, you'll get 20% as well. We have to earn some money as well, you know. At the moment, it's 20% every 4 months with them. We haven't increased our cloud prices, but we'll do it on the 1st of May because we haven't touched it so far. So because we have some licenses of VMware and Red Hat and Oracle and Microsoft, as these prices increase, we have to we have to recharge some of these price ups. So our electricity prices have doubled, and so at some stage we will have to pass these on, obviously. I would like to die as late as possible, but in good health. So on 1st of May, our prices will increase, and we've been able to hold it for 4 months more than others. With respect to security, what did they do? For them, it was an option. So I told my guys, well, you have the answer. It's an option. And the client, whether he decides to take the option VADE or Fortinet, let's see which one we finalize it with. It's almost done, hey? So you'll have a second scoop later. It will be between VADE and Fortinet. And it will be an option. So either the client says, you know what, I'll do my own thing and for the antivirus and filtration, and I'll do whatever I want. I think that in terms of easiness, he will work with our system, but it will be an option. The different packs. Basic, advanced. I see the journalists were waiting for the prices. There they are. So it's approximative because it depends on the number of users for now. So 3 main offers: basic, which is really for the mail; advanced, mail with a drive at 25 gigs, and chat and video, which is integrated; and then premium, where you have the drive at 100 gigs and your 50 gig space for mail with all the other applications. So we're starting with €3.40 per month per user, and then $9.50 and $16.30 for the premium. You can compare it with some of the American products that just increased 33% by 26%, and you can see that when you're a company and you're told the price is not available, contact your commercial contact. For us, our prices are available, you can see them, and they're valid. We also have some options to discuss from the beginning. So there is the question of additional space, migration of mails and data with tools that allow you to go from one environment to another one, and so there's an evaluation system to manage this, and then the office suite. So this part is not available yet. That's why the cost is not indicated. It's not shown yet. Why is it not available? Because they're also reworking on the prices. So the current premium and professional prices are not available at the moment. So this is all made in France. We've announced the prices. So prepare your order requests when we finish this conference. So here we have a table with everything that I just told you, with the different packs and the contents, as well as the approximate price. And we have the addition part is the additional space that you can have. So, as a summary, what is Made in France? Is a tailor-made solution. It's a collaborative, complete suite. First of all, it's a mail system, it's a drive, it's a chat, and it's a video conference. It is interfaced with Outlook, but for me this is really very important not to change the experience of the user. It's completely sovereign, and it's ultra confidential, no exploitation of your data, and it's in the contract, which is not the case with what you sign with some of the other ones. They have looks. For us, it's 0% exploitation of your data, and it's guaranteed, and it's part of the contract. It's available 24/7. The offer is on 2 of our French data centers. These are open source products that are not part of the Cloud Act, so no technology part of the Cloud Act. Some will say, oh yeah, but you're with HP servers, and you have HP servers. Yes, they're HP servers, but I can tell you that I don't see HP that will tell us, give us data from the data centers. I don't think an American government will tell HP to get some of the data from us because we have data on their servers. They cannot. They cannot. From a legal point of view, they cannot. So yes, there are Hewlett-Packard Enterprise servers. So Outlook, Thunderbird, as I've said everything. That's it. Yes, you've said everything. And we're on time, and we can go eat now. And our Frédéric arrived in the month of May. He's the one really carrying the offer, and that's his baby, made in France. And he has a lot of work internally, obviously, because, you know, when you're working with VMware, with Microsoft, with Red Hat, with Oracle, with Citrix, and you arrive with open source, some guys with me were really feeling not well, and muscular contractions and nausea, and that's not it. We had to get over the resistance to change, and I told everyone that it's better to be with us than against us, because otherwise people were put in difficult positions. But I think we're there, and it's part of our DNA now. And as the market of employment is slowing down, so people will come aboard and that really like the idea of open source. And that's it. So are you having fun with CHEOPS? I haven't. I see your beard is becoming whiter. Yes, but I've been having a lot of fun. But that's cybersecurity that's doing this. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. If you have questions, we can answer them with great pleasure. Are there questions in the hall? Yes.
Personne n'est parfait, je vous rassure.
The interpreter cannot hear the question. The response is no one is perfect, I assure you. Two good questions. The first one is that we will accompany all clients to migrate wherever they come from, whether they come from 365 or Exchange on premises or from group-wise. Some are still on group-wise. Some will come Google Drive. We'll help them to migrate. That's part of our accompaniment. And our agencies everywhere in France will be trained to help migrate. For example, yesterday we were migrating some between X and 365. Tomorrow, these same clients will help them to migrate between X to Made in France. So we will be there and we'll accompany you, even from Google Drive. Then we're a bit. There's a lot of pressure on the 24/7, and a lot of pressure on my behalf as well. So the open test is something that's been done for the last 2.5 years by our Swiss friends, and it really, even if we're part of the group, there's some kind of a rivalry between the France and Swiss. So each one wants to show that they're better than the other one. So when they're doing tests, they're quite serious. So I have to be informed of the open test results, and I know that a few people that didn't sleep at night for this. But we'll have more news on that this month.
Ouais. Alors là, bon.
So Frédéric and the teams wanted for me to put in the catalog an open source offer that's called what? Only Office. It's like Outlook. I don't like changes, and whatever I do with Excel and PowerPoint, it's really limited. So what they're suggesting is to host the files with us and to keep the on-prem licenses, but otherwise open source and Office. They're completely compatible. Yes, there is no issue of opening files and reading them. Yes, my problem is changing the interface and the functioning. I know with my eyes closed where's the click, where's the button, and otherwise I lose time. But I understand some clients want to migrate to open source. We have this offer in the catalog. Did I answer your question? Bertrand, you have a question, no? A journalist always has a question. I'll tell you everything. It's 2 years we've been working on this, and it's quite expensive. We had some money. We did it. I don't want to talk about the tool. The offer is called Made in France. These are the functionalities, the working. That's the way it is with Outlook, Thunderbird, whatever you want. Whatever is behind it, you need to know is performant, available, and secure. Whatever we do in the back kitchen, you don't know the recipe, but and I told you that we're hesitating between Vade and Fortinet, and I talked quite a bit about Vade today. Yes, everything is open source, not submitted to the Cloud Act. No American can come and say, oh, I want this one from this data center. No, it's impossible, which is not the case. I can't say their, I don't know if I can say their names, but there are some alliances, you know. There's a company that is called like a fruit that has a alliance with a #1 of IT that's blue in color. They're really good people. We work with them a lot with integration of SAP, and they use 365, saying it's like Made in France is sovereign. No, it's not right. It's American technology. In terms of application, it's not sovereign. It's under the Cloud Act. So that's a mistake. It's a strategic mistake. I say this. I don't want to foresee things in the future, but I don't think this will end up well. I could be wrong, huh? But no one is a prophet in his own country. But I don't believe in this. You know, Thales, that is doing the same thing, the same problem. They're not sovereign. It's not sovereign, and it doesn't make any sense. There, I told you, sense. It's nonsense. It seems that people are asking a lot of questions from Microsoft, which is great because I think that they're too comfortable in their big field, and apparently lately people are worried about what they're doing. So I'm happy because people are turning towards us, and that's very good. Last question. We have to go out. That's right. Yes. No. You're always worried. You see, Frédéric. No, that's okay. Ah, luckily you're here. Okay, other question. The offer will go until when you go and research one mail. Is it an optional? Is it optional or is it standard? We're not sure yet, because there's a native system that allows you to save 1 month of data, but we're trying to work on it to have something a bit stronger in terms of backup. For the clients, it all depends on the clients. Jean, I'm sure you have a question. Journalists always have a question. You have the prices and you're happy, right?
Ah, ça c'est une excellente.
That's a very good question. Because as you know, I'm very, very much part of the offer. And I believe that it responds to our expectations. No, it's not encrypted. So on some environments, the setup of the encryption is possible. For example, we can encrypt the drive, we can encrypt emails, but everything is depending on lag and latency, because between when you send the key to open the mail, and that's delay in lag, it means that we might have essential elements. For example, storing elements in drive is what is native in the open source allows for this. But Nicolas, you know, we spoke with people. There is an ecosystem. Yes, but more specifically, there is an entity that came from lab research that is doing some post-quantum algorithms. And in the 1st June 2023, that the international standard will be set up. It's a standard for the encryption of the quantum. And they're one of the 3 recognized entities in terms of their algorithms. They have a demonstrator. And we had a big meeting with them to see if perhaps it would be interesting to have encryption for the emails.
Alors, c'est natif chez nous, hein. C'est pas notre première offre de cloud, c'est notre première offre de SaaS.
It's not our first SaaS offer, and with 5 data centers in France, so they're not in the forest, so there's no danger of fires. Perhaps, so this was really a tough element because our friends from OO, when they burnt down, people said, oh, wow. And what about for CHEOPS? If it burnt down, am I going to lose all my data and all my environments? Because the backup was next to the server. And so we had 10,000 calls from all our clients, from IT admins, and say, oh, we're with you, what's happening? And we had emails that we had to answer. So I'm laughing, but at the same time, it's annoying. Obviously, we have 2 data centers. We have one in Bruges and one for CHEOPS. So I have we have a 3rd high-density data center, and so we have water in the racks, with the pumps and everything you need to have redundant elements, and three power supplies. And same with Kunix, 22 kilometers away, with 2 fiber optic lines that are dedicated to us. So this is replicated between Bordeaux-Canéjan and Bruges. Bruges in France, not in Belgium. This is on storage, Aletra, so dual controller, and replicated between the 2 data centers. So you have the data on the A side replicated in real time on the B side. If A burns down, B, from a native point of view, it's part of the same cluster. It starts automatically, and it will be seamless for the user. Then, if we have a viral attack, then we have backups like Bolt. That's right? It's like Bolt? Yes. Or is it Vim? It's like Bolt. Yes. We have both technologies. It's like Bolt, and it's backuped on dual site as well. And it's archived every month. There is, it's externalized on a tape, and we have a site with SureGuard. No, it's native. It's native. It's part of our cloud offers as they are with CHEOPS.
Oui, absolument. Ok, c'est une bonne question, Jean. D'autres questions?
Are there other questions?
Lorsque vous utilisez l'environnement webmail, tout à fait.
Yes, when you use the webmail environment, 100% on all its functionalities. Yes, it is. You can have very small functionalities that are lost, but it's already on the roadmap in the next 6 months.
D'autres questions, oui.
La suite collaborative étant optionnelle,
The collaborative suite is an option. The drive is part of the pack. It's a detail, but you have to explain what is part of it and what's optional. So the drive in the premium pack is part of it, And the collaborative suite that allows you to edit and share the drive, share files, is an additional option, either because you have your own Office suite tools and so you don't need an additional one, or you want to be full open source and then you can take the collaborative suite. Other questions? Thank you very much. We'll close the session. I came here with the plane, and I brought you some cheese and white wine, and it's nice to spend some time together so you don't leave empty hands. I didn't come with a private plane. It's just and Vincent will distribute this wine at the exit. And in 3-4 we have a small breakfast together, lunch together. Sorry.